Hello everyone, welcome to Management Science to Success. Today I will discuss the third step of solving a transportation problem, that is optimality check. And as I have discussed before, that one of the best methods used to check the optimality of the feasible solution obtained in the second step by using number of methods like northwest corner rule, least cost or Vogel's approximation method. We check the optimality of the solutions obtained by this method, which we called modified distribution method or MODI method. So I have taken an example here. With the help of this, I'm going to explain you that how we can use MODI method, and I'll try myself to make it easier to you so that you can understand it easily. For this problem, as I have already discussed, if for any transportation problem, first thing we do balanced or unbalanced. This problem is already balanced, and we are also having the initial feasible solution by using Vogel's approximation method. So we just go through the MODI method or the optimality check. Right. The allocations for this are, with the help of Vogel's approximation method, we got allocations to the respective cost of the above problem. So after getting the feasible solution by using Vogel's approximation method, we will go to the optimality check, that is MODI method. And before moving to the MODI method, the first thing which we have to do is to check the degeneracy problem. And what is degeneracy? That is to check that the number of allocations m plus n minus 1 should be equals to number of allocations. So we will check that m, that is number of rows, 1, 2, 3, plus number of columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1 should be equals to number of allocations. So number of allocations are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the circled values are allocations we got by using Vogel's approximation method. So the number of allocations we got are 6. And on solving it, you will get 6. So this sum and the number of allocations are same. So we can say that there is no degeneracy problem in the given situation. Now I am going to discuss the first step of applying MODI method. In the first step, make the table as you have obtained by using the initial feasible solution, that is Vogel's approximation method. So mark all the allocations here along with the cost. Write all the cost in this bracket at this portion of the cell. Right, all the cost should be written in such form. So I'm going to the next one. According to the question, I will write all the cost in this manner: 1, 7, 9, 20, 12, 14, 16, 18. Right, now I will mention the allocations I got by applying Vogel's approximation method here. The allocations I got after applying Vogel's approximation method was 8, 13, 12, 7, 3, 2. Now in the first step, firstly what we do is we have to calculate UI and Vj, these values. Right? UI for all the rows, and Vj for all the columns. And the relation of UI and Vj with the cost is, that is UI plus Vj is equals to Cij. The Cij is the cost given in the matrix, right? And what actually we have to calculate is that we need to calculate Dij, which actually decides that whether this transportation problem is having an optimal solution or not. So the value of Dij decides that whether the loop will be formed in such a manner that the optimal solution can be obtained or not. And the formula for this Dij is Ui plus Vj, which should be deducted from Cij, that is cost. So the value of all Dij should be calculated by using this formula. How we will use this formula, how this formula will work, you will understand in the next step. While calculating Ui or Vj, the main point which we have to remember is, firstly we will see in the obtained feasible solution that which row or column is having the maximum number of allocations. And if we found such a row or such a column which is having maximum number of allocations comparing other row or column, then we allocate 0 to that particular u or v value, right? So if the maximum number of allocations found in a row, then we will allocate that particular value equals to 0. And if we found any column is having maximum number of allocations, then we will put the one of the Vj's value equals to 0. This is the assumption we made for calculating the value of Ui and Vj. तो Ui और Vj की वैल्यू निकालने के लिए हमें क्या करना होता है, हमें सबसे पहले ये चेक करना होता है कि इस ट्रांसपोर्टेशन प्रॉब्लम में जो फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन आपने निकाला है, उस फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन के थ्रू जो एलोकेशंस आपके पास आई हैं, उन एलोकेशंस में सबसे ज़्यादा एलोकेशन किस रो या किस कॉलम में है, और जिस रो और जिस कॉलम में सबसे ज़्यादा एलोकेशंस मिलती हैं हम उसे 0 के इक्वल मान लेते हैं, और उसी की मदद से फिर हम सारे Ui और Vj's की वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करते हैं, जिससे हमें Dij निकालने में मदद मिलती है। अगर हम इस प्रॉब्लम की बात करें तो यहाँ कोई भी रो या कोई भी कॉलम ऐसा नहीं है जहाँ पर हमें मैक्सिमम एलोकेशंस नज़र आएँ। एक टाई हो रहा है, जैसे कि अगर फर्स्ट रो में देखें तो यहाँ पर भी 2 एलोकेशंस हैं, सेकंड रो में भी 2 एलोकेशंस हैं और थर्ड रो में भी 2 एलोकेशंस हैं। तो जो और अगर कॉलम में भी आप चेक करें तो मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ़ एलोकेशंस 2 ही हैं कॉलम्स में भी। तो आप किसी भी रो या किसी भी कॉलम को यहाँ पर 0 मान सकते हैं। मान लीजिए हमने इस U1 को ही 0 ले लिया। जैसे ही आप U1 को 0 ले लेते हैं तब आपको एक हेल्प मिलती है, एज वी assume U1 equals to 0, because we can choose any row or column right now because there is a tie. We are having maximum number of allocations, but the number of allocations is equals to 2, and that can be in a row or in a column also, so we can choose any one. So we have chosen U1 equals to 0. Now we will find the values of all these variables with the help of this one. How to calculate the value of other variables? For that you have to go to the cell which is parallel to this value, which is in the direction of this value. Just like I got this cell having cost 0 and allocation 8, right? So I can calculate the value of V2 here. I can calculate the value of V2 here by using the formula Ui plus Vj is equals to Cij. With the help of this formula I can calculate the value of V2. How? I have written U1 plus V2 equals to C12. What is this C12? The C12 stands for the cost in the first row and second column. So the cost in the first row and second column is equals to 0, right? And what is the value of V2 here? No, we are not having this value. We have to find the value of V2. But we are having the value of U1 here. And what is the value? U1 is equals to 0. So by choosing this cell which is having allocation corresponding to this value, I have taken 0 plus V2. Therefore V2 is equals to 0. We got V2 equals to 0. Okay. Now we will start calculating other values. Again, if I see in this particular row, I'm also having one more allocation here, that is 7 in this cell. So which cell is this? This cell is C1, 1, 2, 3, 4, C1, 4. So what should I write? U1 plus V4. And what is the value of this cost? C14 is 11 and U1 is 0 plus V4 is, I don't know what V4 is. I have to calculate V4. So indirectly or directly you can understand V4 is equals to 11. Now we write the values obtained in this table. Start putting the values here. We got V2 equals to 0, so write V2 equals to 0 here. We got V4 equals to 11, so write 11 here. After that, we will start calculating the value of other variables. And to calculate the value of these left items, what we have to do? We have to use these values now. So if I am having the value of V2, then I have to see that do I have any allocation respective to this value? Yes, I'm having an allocation 8, but I'm already having U1 equals to 0. So I just need to move to the next value I have calculated. क्योंकि इसकी वैल्यू हम निकाल चुके हैं, V2 की वैल्यू हमने 0 कैलकुलेट की, इसके रिस्पेक्ट में हमने एलोकेशन को देखा, लेकिन हमारे पास ऑलरेडी U1 की वैल्यू है, तो हम और कोई वैल्यू इससे नहीं निकाल सकते अभी. अब हम मूव करते हैं दूसरी वैल्यू की तरफ, दैट इज़ V4 एंड V4 इज इक्वल्स टू 11. सो नाउ आई विल चेक इस वैल्यू के रिस्पेक्ट में कोई और एलोकेशन है. येस, आई एम हैविंग 2 एलोकेशंस हियर, 1 3 and the second one is 7. For 7 I'm already having the value of U1 equals to 0, and for 3 I'm not having the value of U3. So I can calculate the value of U3 here by using the formula which cell is this? This cell is 1 2 3 4, that means third row, and which column? Fourth column. So this cost is C3 4 is equals to U3 plus V4, right? So by using it we can calculate the value of U3 here. So what is the cost here? 18. So C34 is equals to 18, and U3 we have to calculate, plus V4 we have already calculated 11. So I can find the value of U3 is equals to 18 minus 11, that means 7. Okay. Now we will put the value of U3 here in the table. I have mentioned the value of U3 as 7. Now with the help of U3, which other variable's value I can calculate? I have to check. The same method I will use, which I check that is this value is having any allocation respective to this row or the column along with it. Yes, I found that along with U3 I have 2 allocations. First in the cell C34, which I have already used, and next in the cell C33, third row and third column, C33. So I can use this U3 here to calculate the value of V3. So the formula I will use it for this cell, C33 is equals to U3 plus V3, right? And what is the value of C33? C33 is 16 is equals to U3. I have already calculated 7 plus V3 I have to calculate. Therefore V3 is equals to 16 minus 7 or 9. So I obtain V3 equals to 9. Now put the value of V3 in the table. This procedure may takes time, but once you understand it, it becomes easier to you to calculate it so earlier. Now we left with U2 and V1. we have to find the value of u2 and v1. So again we will start finding how we can calculate v1. For v1 I have only one allocation, that is 12, and for this 12 I'm not having the value of u2. So it's difficult to find the value of v1 without the value of u2. So I will move to the next. But for u2, for finding the value of u2, if I move to this direction, I found two allocations along with this row, 13 and 12. If I use 12, then the same problem will occur, that u2 is not having value, v1 is not having value. So how do I calculate the value of these two? But for this cell, I have the value of 1, that is v3. For this cell, which cell is this? C23, second row and third column, C23. For this C23, I have the value of v3, so I can calculate the value of u2. So I will write C23 equals to u2 plus v3. Right. Now come to the question. C23, this is the cell C23, the cost is 9. 9 equals to u2, I have to calculate, I don't have the value, and v3 I have already calculated 9. So I got the value u2 equals to 0. u2 equals to 0. Now with the help of this u2, I can calculate the value of v1. v1 can be calculated by using this cell because this is having the allocation, and this cell is C21. That means second row and first column. So C21. And for C21, the cost is 1. v1 I have to find and u2 is 0. So how should I write? I write in this C21 is equals to u2 plus v1. C21 was, cost was 1, u2 I have already calculated here, u2 equals to 0 plus v1. Therefore v1 is equals to 1, right? So lastly we will put all the values in the table and we get v1 equals to 1. Now the values of all the variables have been obtained, and we can go to the next step, that is the step to calculate the value of Dij. Now we will discuss the second step for calculating optimal solution, and the second step of Moti method is to calculate the values of Dij's. Why we calculate the values of Dij's? The reason behind that is, if all Dij's, that means if the value of all Dij's obtained are greater than equals to 0, then we can say that the solution obtained is feasible and the question will end. After calculating the transportation cost by the allocations we obtained, we can say that the solution obtained is feasible. But if it doesn't happen, that means if all the Dij's are not greater than equals to 0 and we got some of the values negative, then we have to move further. We have to use few more steps to remove that situation and to get all the Dij's greater than equals to 0. That procedure will be understood in the next step. Now we will move to the second step, that is to calculate the value of Dij's. And the reason behind that why do we need to calculate the value of Dij's is that because according to Modi method, if all the Dij's or if all the values of Dij's are greater than equals to 0, then the solution obtained is feasible and the questions ends with the transportation cost we have already obtained. But if it doesn't happen, that means if we don't get all the Dij's greater than equals to 0 and we get any one or a few Dij's less than equals to 0, then we have to move to the next step, or we have to use some steps to remove that problem and get all the Dij's greater than equals to 0. So we will study further about that. Now we start calculating the value of dij's. How do we calculate dij's? The first thing which I have to tell you is how you represent this cell. That means which is the cost, which is the allocation, and which is the dij. If it is clear to you, then you can easily find out the values and easily mention them, and the procedure will be so easier for you. So you have to firstly clear that where you have to write the cost, where you have to write the allocations, and where you have to write the values of dij's, and how to calculate all these. The first thing before calculating the dij's, we need to know that where we are having no allocations, that means unoccupied cells. That means firstly we have to identify occupied and unoccupied cells. Unoccupied cells. What do you mean by occupied and what do you mean by unoccupied? Occupied का मतलब है कि जहाँ जहाँ आपके पास allocations हैं, all the places where we are having allocations, all the cells. And unoccupied meaning जहाँ allocations नहीं है, where we are not having allocations. So we will start according to that. For all unoccupied cells, we calculate the value of dij's. So let's start representing that. We represent the value of dij like this. In this cell we are not having any allocation, so we can calculate the value of dij here. We can also calculate the value of dij here. Likewise here. At all these places we can calculate the value of dij's. So let's start calculating. As I've already told you the formula for calculating dij's, that is dij is equals to Cij. What is the Cij? The cost in the cell minus the values of these variables ui and vj. So in the previous step of Modi method, we have already calculated the values of ui and vj's. So we can use these values to calculate the values of dij's. So let's start calculating the first value, the first di for the cell. This cell is D11. That means first row and first column. For this D11, what is the cost? The cost is 10. We are having the cost 10. Your Cij is 10 minus. What is the value of ui here? We are having ui, that means u1 for this cell, u1 equals to 0. So u1 is 0 plus v1 equals to 1. So 1. Cij, what was Cij here? C11 minus u1 plus v1. That was the formula which we have used here. C11 is 10, u1 is 0, v1 is 1. v1 is 1. Right. So we get the value d11 is equals to 10 minus 1, 9. Right. Now we move to the next. Now we start calculating for the next cell, that is this. This cell is first row, third column. That means D13. And how do we calculate? C13 minus U1 plus V3. Right? Okay. D13. C13 is 20. The cost is 20 minus, what is the value of U1? U1 is 0 plus, what is the value of V3? 9. Right? So 20 minus 9, that means 11. Now we will calculate the dij's for the remaining cells. That means for the D31, third row first column D31 and D32. So we have already calculated D31. D31 is 4. So we will write the value here, D31 4. Now we will calculate D32. So start calculating D32. For D32, we need C32 minus U3 plus V2. C32 is, that means the cost in the third row and second cell. Third row and second cell, the cost is 14. So we will write 14 minus U3. U3 for this row is U3 equals to 17, 7, and V2 is 0. So we will write 7 plus 0. 14 minus 7, that means 7. So we get D32 equals to 7. Write this value here. D32 equals to 7. Since we have calculated all the DIJs for the unoccupied, therefore we have obtained all the DIJs positive. जितने भी DIJs हमने कैलकुलेट किए हैं वो सारे हमारे पॉजिटिव हैं. And we have already studied that if all DIJs are greater than equals to 0, then the solution obtained is feasible. Therefore, for this problem, we can say that the solution obtained or the transportation cost obtained by using the Vogel's approximation method was feasible and the solution was optimal. We have studied the condition when Dij, all Dij's are greater than equals to 0, and we found that the solution is optimal. Now we will study the second condition when we get Dij's less than equals to 0. We will discuss a problem now where we will find Dij's less than equals to 0, and we try to reach optimal solution. We will try to reach optimal solution. So next I am going to discuss with you in my next video that when we found with the help of Vogel's approximation method, this feasible solution we found is optimal or not, and we also found the condition where Dij's are less than equals to 0.